Exposure triangle is the term used to describe the three elements that control the exposure of an image: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. These three elements work together to determine the amount of light that enters the camera and hits the camera's sensor, which ultimately affects the brightness, clarity, and sharpness of the image. Here's how each element of the exposure triangle affects your image. Aperture. Aperture refers to the opening in the lens through which light enters the camera. It is measured in f-stops, and a lower f-stop number means a larger aperture opening, which allows more light to enter the camera. Aperture also affects the depth of field, or the range of focus in an image. A wider aperture, lower f-stop number, creates a shallow depth of field, while a narrower aperture, higher f-stop number, creates a deeper depth of field. Shutter speed. Shutter speed refers to the amount of time the camera's shutter remains open, allowing light to hit the camera's sensor. It is measured in fractions of a second, and a slower shutter speed means the shutter remains open for a longer time, allowing more light to enter the camera. Shutter speed also affects the motion blur in an image. A slower shutter speed creates more motion blur, while a faster shutter speed freezes motion. ISO. ISO refers to the camera sensor's sensitivity to light. A higher ISO number means the sensor is more sensitive to light, which can be helpful in low light situations. However, a higher ISO can also introduce noise or grain to an image, which can decrease image quality. By understanding how each of these elements works together, you can control the exposure of your image and achieve the desired brightness, clarity, and sharpness. Practice experimenting with different settings to find the perfect balance for your shots.